Good day. Here are today's top stories from the Pna Headlines. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has declared May of every year as Ease of Doing Business or EODB month. The celebration aims to boost the government's efforts in creating a business-friendly environment for investors. It also raises awareness and reinforces the Marcos administration's commitment to cut red tape, improve the regulatory environment, and accelerate economic development. Marcos tasked the Anti-Red Tape Authority through Proclamation Number 818 to lead the annual observance of the celebration. All government agencies as well as the private sector and non-government entities must collaborate with the ARTA in implementing its initiatives throughout the EODB month. The private sector and non-government organizations are also encouraged to participate and support these efforts. The ARTA is responsible for leading, monitoring, and recommending initiatives to streamline government services and enhance business operations in the country. The Department of Agriculture maintains that the Marcos administration's efforts to stabilize rice prices are steps in the right direction, proof of which is the deflation of rice prices in January. This, as records from the Philippine Statistics Authority showed that rice inflation in January was at minus 2.3% year-on-year, the lowest since June 2020's minus 2.8%. This was also the first since the 0.1% decline in December 2021. Agriculture Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel Jr. welcomed the news as he particularly praised the sharp tariff reduction implemented by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. last year. In a separate media interview, DA spokesperson Assistant Secretary Arnel de Mesa noted that rice prices have been dropping since December 2024. He cited the DA's programs such as the Rice for All program, where affordable well-milled rice is sold in Kadiwa stores, and select markets for the gradual drop of rice prices. De Mesa also noted the implementation of the maximum suggested retail price of 5% broken rice, which is expected to drop to 45 pesos per kilogram by the end of March. He added that the impact of the Food Security Emergency Declaration, which allows the release of NFA rice for all at a low price to local government units, may be felt starting within the month. The country's unemployment rate declined to 4.3% this January from 4.5% recorded in January 2024. In its latest labor force survey, the Philippine Statistics Authority said underemployment also decreased to 13.3% from 13.7%. The unemployment rate in October 2024 was estimated at 3.9%. At the same time, more Filipinos have entered the labor market as labor force participation rose to 63.9%, up from 61.1% from last year. This means an additional 2.6 million individuals have joined the labor force, including 1.4 million who are in their prime working age. Meanwhile, the number of young workers joining the labor force increased to 31.8% in January 2025 from 29.7% a year earlier. The National Economic and Development Authority cited the government's efforts to reskill and upskill workers to maintain the rise of the Philippine labor market. NEDA Secretary Arsenio Balisacan said the government's strategy is to continue sustaining job creation by fostering a dynamic and investment-friendly economy. Balisacan also emphasized the importance of resilience in the agriculture sector in addressing vulnerable employment. The Department of Social Welfare and Development has barred politicians and their promotional materials from appearing during the distribution of cash aid under the Ayuda sa Kapos ang Kita program or AKAP. Based on the AKAP guidelines shared to the media on Wednesday, the DSWD will prohibit politicians from personally participating or even displaying materials associated with them during the distribution of financial assistance. This is to prevent politicians or other parties from exploiting the DSWD program to benefit them. For his part, COMELEC Chair George Garcia said the poll body's law department is studying the guidelines. Garcia said they are also looking into the request of exemption on election spending filed by the DSWD regarding AKAP funds worth 882 million pesos. He added that they want to ensure that politicians and candidates would not take advantage of the AKAP distribution to promote themselves. The COMELEC will meanwhile ban the distribution of all forms of ayuda including AKAP 10 days before the May elections. AKAP is a DSWD social protection program that provides cash aid to individuals who have no access to regular government aid but are not part of the poorest population. In our business news, the Department of Trade and Industry and Jollibee Food Corporation have partnered to reduce waste and integrate sustainability practices into fast food giants' ecosystem. DTI and JFC unveiled their joint project called Popject 2.0 Earth's Best Friend, a just transition to sustainable lifestyles. In a press con on March 5, the DTI emphasized their duty to protect consumers' rights while guiding them towards informed, ethical, and sustainable consumption. The partnership was also made in celebration of the World Consumer Rights Day as DTI and Jollibee acknowledged the growing impact of plastic pollution. Eloise Ann Sison, Assistant Vice President of Trade Marketing Group of Jollibee, also said their goal is to create long-term behavioral change among consumers. Meanwhile, property developers are focusing on provincial markets where the demand for residential and office spaces remains high. During the Property Guru Asia Connect Manila event, Cindy Tan Harabata, president of Tahara Leisure and Hospitality Group, highlighted the significance of diversifying their market while improving quality. Jericho Go, Senior Vice President of Robinson Land, said development in the provinces promotes reverse migration as local residents no longer have to go to Manila or abroad, leading to a positive impact on the local economy. Monica Lorenzana Trajano, Vice President of Aboitiz Infra Capital Economic Estates, added that they are also focusing on projects outside Metro Manila's central business district area. For their part, Philippine Economic Zones Authority Director General Vivian Santos said that they plan to add about 30 eco zones per year due to its positive effect on the countryside. In other news, the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines on Wednesday issued its first yellow alert for the Luzon grid as demand increased amid danger level heat indices in parts of the country. The NGCP reported a peak demand of 11,829 megawatts and a capacity of 12,488 megawatts, leaving a narrow operating margin of 659 megawatts. NGCP predicts that peak demand in Luzon this year is at 14,769 megawatts, higher than 14,016 megawatts recorded on April 24, 2024. In contrast, Visayas and Mindanao are in normal operation. And that's the latest and the biggest stories on the PNA Headlines. For more news updates, visit our website, pna.gov.ph, or our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. The PNA Headlines is also streamed via the Servicio Facebook page. You may also watch the PNA Headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account and via the News and Information Bureau website under PNA News. I am Wilnard Barcelona. This is the PNA Headlines, bringing stories that unite the nation.